Yeah, so I decided to, leave my hiding place in Hidalgo, Texas. Sorry for the noise, that's air conditioning. So I left that hotel, 60 bucks a night, and started driving because I found there was, I still didn't find a load, but I found there was a Walmart. Cheers. I found there was a Walmart a few miles away, and so I called the store and I asked them if they allowed big trucks to park on the property, and the guy told me which way of the parking is okay. And I drive over there and I don't see a single truck on the property. Like, I see a dock where big trucks go to load and unload, but I did not know if I can go there and then I can block, because they need that space to turn around and then back to the dock, like the trucks that do delivery. So, and it's the same place I spent a couple of days there, going to the Best Buy. It's right next to the Best Buy, and that's already McAllen, actually, McAllen, Texas. My hotel was in Hidalgo, Texas. As I mentioned before, there's a whole bunch of small towns, and they all basically go into each other, transform. It's like one big town, but with suburbs, right? And I drive around, and I remember there was abandoned property right next to Starbucks. And I go there, and there's already one guy parked there, like a big truck. Then of course it's a good sign that I can park there too. And I see he even has his curtains on the windows, meaning that he slept in there. And this was only like noon, around noon. So I park my truck there. I go to the Starbucks, but the funny thing happened is that when I started driving, when I left the hotel, my fan stopped working. Not just air conditioning, but the whole switch was dead. I was just talking to my friend on the hands-free phone, and it became hot as I started driving, even with open windows, and I turned the knob, nothing. I just hear the click in the fuse box, and nothing happens. So after I parked next to that Starbucks, I checked the fuse box. I found the fuse that was responsible for air conditioning. I popped it out, put it back in, nothing. And there was no loads, like nothing to write home about, so I used Google Maps, and I saw that just a couple of miles up the road, basically towards Houston, which I have to go anyway, because that road you gotta take to get to Laredo and Houston. And all the loads I saw were from Houston, Texas, so I have to go there anyway. And this is Rush Truck Center, basically a Peterbilt center. So I go there, I call them and ask if they can, put my truck in and fix this quickly, if they're very busy, because I'm just hoping this may be just a fuse or something, I hope it's not the actual motor. And so I put the truck in there, and I said, when do you think it's going to be ready? Or they say, oh, we're not sure it's going to be ready today. I said, okay, forget it. I'm not in a hurry. Just as long as you fix it up by tomorrow, by Tuesday. And I go across the street because I see the sign La Quinta, Motel 6, and I remember that Landstar mentions in the booklets that Landstar drivers get a discount at La Quinta, And I see at that Motel 6 there's an electronic sign that says $49.99 per night per single person. So I figured this hotel should not be much more expensive than that. And I spent like 10 minutes inside a two-man line, and I'm like, dripping with sweat, even though I have some very weak ass air conditioning inside. And I was ready to leave, but then it was my turn, so I figured, hey, okay. So I get a discount as Lance the driver, and the guy says yes. Okay, I said, what's the price after discount? And he says $89.99 or something like that. So 90 bucks. Okay, because I was just curious. I never stopped at La Quinta. I just heard that it's a good hotel, And I go in, and okay, I see the I don't know if my camera is gonna if it's gonna focus right now, because I'm using my Nikon, right? But let's see if it works, because I know that I cannot focus or zoom. But the beds are nice, right? They use this nice linen, and the carpet is nice, right? But there was no remote. I had to call to get the remote, and look at this. This one is half broken, right? And it's an old type, like old type air conditioning thing, so noisy. And over here, when I stand over here, it's all wet. There's water, right? So it's not exactly, you know, top of the line hotel, what I'm trying to say. So basically a tip for guys and gals that feel sometimes that, or maybe it's because of that picture, I don't know. Maybe because of that picture the price is so high, you know. But clean, nice beds, that's for sure. But I'm just saying that probably if I went to that Motel 6, I would not lose too much in quality, you know. But what do you do? I already booked in, so I just said one night, that's it. So hopefully my truck will be ready by tomorrow. And I still don't have a load. I've been talking to a few agents, but something is always wrong, you know. It's either you have to one load where there was a nice load, but today is Monday. They want me to load Friday in Houston. You know, like, why Friday? Is it not ready now? Well, no, it's because they have a holiday in Canada. I said, well, I can pick it up tomorrow or Wednesday and keep the truck at my yard west of Toronto, and then I can deliver. Oh, it was going to Ottawa. And the guy says, okay, I'll call you back. And he never calls me back. You know, then some other places I've been checking on, it goes to Northern Ontario, like 7 hours away from my home, you know. But what do you do? Then the last one I called on paid $3,700, some kind of a plastic pipe, going to pretty much like Toronto area. But you know, it's like 1,500 miles for $3,700. And I said, can you ask your customer if he can, she can pay more? And the guy puts me on hold, and he says, well, actually she wants me to find someone for $3,600. And I really hate that when they do that. You know, they post a higher rate on the board just to attract people, to make people call them. And then this already happened to me a few times. And then they say, oh, let me check with the customer. And then they call back and say, oh, you know what? No, she wants, you know, $200 less or $100 less. And that's just not fair, you know. It's kind of like false advertising, you know. So yeah, so I'm still here. Still in, this is already Pharr, Texas. P-H-A-R-R, Texas. Again, one of those small towns, you know, that transform into each other. So, but at least, you know, I have a cool room. I have a nice TV, Philips TV. And unlike the previous hotel, there's a whole bunch of like gas stations and restaurants around here. So, you know, I'm not gonna get too lonely in here. Thanks for watching.